All right, let's talk about a story that absolutely sent a shockwave through the programming world. It's all about AI, human expertise, and a single hour of work that might just change, well, everything.
So this was the claim that set the internet on fire, a headline that just jumps right out at you. It comes from a principal engineer at Google, and it sounds like a massive, massive leap for AI. I mean, 1 hour of AI work versus an entire year of work by a team of human experts, that's the kind of thing that makes you stop what you're doing and read it again.
And naturally, that's the first place everyone's mind goes, right? If an AI can pull that off, what does it mean for the future of software development? Are programmers about to be out of a job? Well, as you're about to see, the real story is a lot more nuanced, and honestly, way more interesting than that. So let's really dig into this dramatic comparison, the one that got so much attention.
The claim came from Jana Dogon, who's a principal engineer over at Google. And the task? Well, it was to build something pretty complex called a distributed agent orchestrator. Now, you can just think of that as being like a conductor for a whole symphony of AIs, making sure they all work together perfectly. Her team at Google had been trying out different ways to build this thing for a year, and they still hadn't landed on the perfect solution. Then, in just 1 hour, using Anthropic's Claude code, she got a version up and running.
But here's where we need to look past that flashy headline. After her post went totally viral, Dogon herself had to jump in to add some much-needed context, and, in her own words, to cut through the noise. And this right here is the first really crucial point. The version the AI built in an hour wasn't a finished product ready to ship to millions of users. It was a prototype, a really powerful starting point for sure, but still a simplified toy version.
Okay, now this is where the details get really fascinating. The AI didn't just invent this whole solution out of thin air. No way. Dogon fed it the very best ideas that had already come out of a full year of human trial and error. Her deep expertise, her knowledge, that was the critical ingredient she gave the AI. And because they were starting from a clean slate, the final result was pure, totally free from the baggage of old code and all the previous dead ends.
So here's the key takeaway. The real magic wasn't just the AI. It was the combination. It was the years of human experience, of learning patterns, of developing real insight, paired with the lightning-fast execution of an AI. As Dogon explained, once you have that expert knowledge, building gets way easier. The AI just became the perfect tool to instantly turn her hard-won wisdom into actual working code.
But let's be clear. Even with all that important context, we can't ignore the bigger story here, which is just the absolutely breathtaking speed of AI progress. Dogon herself actually laid out this incredible timeline. Just think about it. Back in 2022, AI was just helping with single lines of code. Now we're seeing it build and restructure entire code bases. And to give you some perspective, she said that back in 2022, she thought the stuff we can do today was at least 5 years away.
And that's not me saying that. That's coming from an expert right in the heart of the industry. The progress is surprising even the people who are actually building it. The improvements in both quality and speed are just completely off the charts.
So if this is where we're at, how are the top pros actually using these tools to get amazing results? Let's look at a practical workflow from someone who really knows.
And who better to ask than the guy who literally created Claude Code itself, Boris Cherny. He actually shared his personal workflow for getting the absolute most value out of his own creation.
So here's his process. First, and he says this is the most important thing, you have to give the AI a way to check its own work. Then, you start by working with it to map out a solid plan before you even think about writing code. He also uses what he calls subagents. You can think of them as little, specialized AIs for repetitive tasks, runs multiple AIs at the same time for bigger jobs, and plugs it all into the other tools his team uses every day, like Slack. And that first tip he gave? That's the real game changer. According to Cherny, just giving the AI a way to verify its own output, basically creating a feedback loop, can double or even triple the quality of the final result. That's the difference between using it like a simple tool and using it like a true partner.
Okay, so let's put all these pieces together. What's the big picture takeaway from this whole incredible story?
If there is one thing you remember from all of this, let it be this. This isn't a story about AI replacing human programmers. It's a story about AI amplifying what an expert human is capable of. So the crucial takeaways are crystal clear. Deep human expertise is now more valuable, not less. The AI is an incredible accelerator for the building part of the job, but the critical thinking and the vision, that still comes from a person.
This means the new essential skill is getting really good at guiding these powerful tools, which lets us innovate at a speed we've just never seen before.
And this leaves us with a final, fascinating question to think about. As the act of just building something becomes more and more automated, almost instantaneous, the true value of a human expert totally shifts. It's not just about knowing how to build something anymore. It's about knowing what to build, why to build it, and having the vision to guide these incredibly powerful new partners.